This is Contract Formation by Brittany Parrish and Margaret Wilson. A promise, an assertion that something either will or will not happen. The idea of giving a remedy against a person who has broken his or her promise appeals to most people. However, the detrimental reliance of the promisee, the person to whom the promise is made, on the promise must be reasonable and foreseeable by the promisor, the person who made the promise, at the time of his or her statement. If the promisee took action that the promisor could have not anticipated, the promisor is not required to live up to the promise. A contract, an agreement that can be enforced in court, formed by two or more competent parties who agree for consideration to perform or to refrain from performing some legal act now or in the future. There are two types of contracts, bilateral and unilateral. Bilateral is a formal contract that requires a special form of forecreation, express, and formed by words. A unilateral contract, a promise for an act, informal, and requires no special form for creation. Implied, in fact, formed at least in part by the parties' conduct. Contract performance. You have a valid contract and a void contract. A valid contract is a contract that has the necessary contextual agreements, consideration, legal capacity of the parties, and legal purpose. It is an enforceable contract, a valid contract that can be enforced because there are no legal defenses against them. Voidable contract. A party has the option of voiding or enforcing the contractual obligation. Unenforceable contract. A contract exists, but it cannot be enforced because of a legal defense. Void contract. No contract exists, and there is a contract with no legal obligations. You have no contract. Offer and acceptance. Offer, a promise or commitment to do or refrain from doing some specified act in the future. Acceptance, a meeting of two or minds in regards to the terms of a contract, usually broken down into two events, an offer and an acceptance. Consideration, generally the value given in return for a promise. The consideration must be something of legal sufficient value, and there must be a bargain for exchange. These are important tips to remember. Never trust anyone with your money. Read what you are signing. Get advice when needed if you don't understand. And don't sign anything unless you understand what you are signing. And last but not least, never trust anyone with your money.